On this week's episode of the Autohaus podcast, I think really important about you is that being like the newest generation of owners, your group is so important because you guys will dictate what the future of Corollas will be in the future,
Yeah.
right?
I can definitely see that. And I know a lot of people.
This is the Autohaus podcast. I have a guest that arguably may be one of the more important guests on this podcast. Can you say your name and give yourself a short introduction?
What's up? I am Jackson Drews. I am 18 years old, and I have a 1985 Toyota Corolla SR5 GTS Frankenstein type deal.
I'm glad you already said how old you are, so I didn't have to ask you awkwardly.
Yeah, no, I'm recently 18.
Yeah, and then just graduated high school, right?
Just graduated high school. Got no real plans. I'm going to University of Utah next year.
Oh.
But yeah,
How come University of Utah?
I like skiing.
Oh, that's
But,
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to bring my car, but I think they salt the roads there.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll have to find something out.
So if you can take a guess, why would you think I would say one of the more important guests on this podcast?
Oh God. I don't know. I'm very young. I bought my car at 16.
Oh, what?
I think. Right. Wait, let me think about that. Yeah.
So you've had this for almost 3 years, or 3 years exactly.
Oh, wait, no, I didn't do that right then. I bought it last year, but my birthday's in July, and I bought it in May. So I think I was still 16 for like a month when I bought it.
Okay.
Unless I did that. I don't know.
So about 2 years of ownership. Does that sound right?
I think I must be, did I buy it when I was 17? I honestly don't remember. It's been a year though. I'm pretty
Oh, wow.
sure. Like
Okay.
a little over a year. I probably did that math so wrong.
Yeah. So one thing I know we talked about this morning, and then also just like with the NorCal community, just because you probably know like the community is just so tied up here.
Right. Yeah.
And we talked about how you probably are the youngest member of the community right now.
I guess so. Yeah.
Max, Battle Garage Max had that trophy, but
Really?
now you took the trophy from him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so one thing I think really important about you is that being like the newest generation of owners, your group is so important because you guys will dictate what the future of Corollas will be in the future.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that. And I know a lot of people who have expressed interest in it just from high school. I think from my personal experience, that is credited a lot to Initial D, because that's a lot of people look at stuff online, and that's sort of the gateway for a lot of people into car stuff, is like just pop culture and anime and stuff like that. So but it's weird to actually go out and sort of like live that, like actually get an 8.6 and then, sort of immerse yourself in the world of Japanese cars and stuff.
Yeah. One thing intriguing for me was that you were a regular face at the Frs Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was going to those way before I had an 8.6 meet.
Yeah.
Or an 8.6.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the NorCal community, and like how do you feel about like our Frs Friday meets? Just like I don't know, like being
Yeah.
a new Corolla owner, being like the youngest one out there.
It's weird because like it's such a different group than what I'm used to, and like other things. Like you go to like normal car meets. I used to go to like a lot in like my sophomore year, but they were all like, it's sort of that group where it's all like Dodge Chargers and Corvettes, and like everybody's going out and racing, like, and the cops show up, but like the 8.6 meet, it's so weirdly different. Like it's very tight knit, and like no one, like there's never been any trouble at that meet. So it's really weird it's really weird to see that level of community so like defined, I guess, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I definitely understand.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like heaven seeing that many 8.6s, because like, I mean, I've been obsessed with them way before I had one. So like, just talking to people who know that much about them is really cool. I learn something new every time I'm there, pretty much.
Oh, so do I. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I go, there's always a car there that surprises me,
Yeah.
or a new face, or I learned some tidbit from someone I've known forever, and like, you didn't tell me this before, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I'm still finding out stuff that like it should be. It's so like just or not obvious, I guess, but it's so like something I feel like people would have mentioned. Like I just learned like a few weeks ago. I didn't know this before. I didn't know that in Japan, 11 GT Apexes had like a flip up grill.
Oh,
I didn't know that existed. And then I saw a video of it. I'm like, this has got to be like an aftermarket mod, right?
yeah.
So I messaged one of my friends. I'm like, did Levins always do this? And he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
from factory. But yeah, it's crazy. It's not even like I'm not even learning stuff about mods. I'm still learning stuff about like cars, or just like the car, how it was. That still surprises me.
So tell us about why Corolla. Is this your very first car?
This is my yeah, pretty much. I had a Prius. I still have a Prius, but you know.
So why Corolla? Like, what led you up to saying I want to buy a Corolla?
It started a long time ago with just a general love for 80s cars. The first car I ever fell in love with was a first gen Lotus Esprit that was like right down the block from me. It kind of looks like a Lamborghini Countach, but it's like way more simple and like way less than a Countach. And that kind of just snowballed into like, you know, discovering like the 240SX, and then watching Initial D and like, you know, having the 86 glorified to that level.
Mm.
And then, you know, you hear like, it's like, okay, well, you know, what are the downsides of the car? And people are just like, it's slow. And I'm like, well, I don't really care. I'm like, I drive a Prius. It's going to be faster than that. And I love the way it looks. So it's just kind of like, if you can put past the fact that you're not going to be like gapping a Corvette, then they're totally fun cars. Like, and I think that's what really like kept me pursuing them.
So I'm going to get a little bit ahead, but
For sure.
has ownership of the car met your expectations of what you thought it would be?
Yeah, actually, it's like, I still enjoy it. Like I had to go like a month without driving it once. I got back in it and like I was just so happy. Like I guess it's like everything I sort of imagined it being. Maybe that'd be different if I had an SR5 or something like lower. But yeah, it's been pretty much everything I imagined. It feels fast, but it's not like, you know, it's not actually fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And even with like mechanical stuff, or like, you know, it breaks down all the time, or it hasn't like stopped, but stuff breaks all the time. And it's still just like, you know, I foresaw this basically.
Tell us the story of how you bought this car.
Okay. So for about a month, I had this really crappy 99 Subaru Outback. It was auto, the power steering pump completely broke. It was a nightmare to sell because it had the valve gasket. I forget what the problem was, but basically it was pretty broken. And another bad thing about it was it had an odometer rollback. My grandma blew it up in 2001 because she didn't put oil in it. So when they swapped the engine over, for some reason they rolled the odometer back.
Oh no.
So I'm driving around this Subaru Outback around Redwood City one day. I was getting the oil changed or something. And I'm always looking out for 86s. And this was in like a pretty auto savvy district of Redwood City, like just mechanic shops forever. And I just saw two 86s peering out from under a tarp. I almost crashed because I was like, holy shit. Like I just glued to them. But the shop was closed. So I went back like a day or two later or something. And that's where I met Chris of Toy Auto Clinic. He was outside on a phone call. And I waited for him to finish. I just stood there awkwardly. And I was like, are either of these cars for sale? And he was like, yeah, the black one is. And I'm like, my heart starts ramping up a little bit. I'm like, okay, is it like a GTS, an SR5? He's like, oh, well, it's an SR5. And I was like, oh, he's like, but it's converted to a GTS. I'm like, okay, so we're back. And I was like, how much do you want for it? I had like 3.1K in my bank account from working this job at a sandwich place for 2 years. And he's like, oh, about 3K. And I'm like, I will buy it right now, basically. And he's like, oh, well, it needs a new distributor. give you some time. I got a whole line of people waiting to buy it. And I was like, all right. So I just held off, and I'm thinking about it the whole time. And then a month later, like my mom calls him. I'll come back to this later because this is a weird story. But basically said like, yeah, I'll sell it to him because like out of all the people who wanted it, he was the one most excited about it. So I went back about a month later and just gave him all my cash and drove away with it. That's the story of how I got it. Pretty much.
What was the other Corolla that was under the top? Was that his personal one?
I think it was either his personal one or there's a guy named Gary who works there.
Oh, okay.
I think it might have been Gary's car or his personal.
Okay.
Honestly, I was so fixated on the black one though.
Yeah. It seems like since I've known you, you've like Toy Auto Clinic has given you a lot of help with that car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting. Talk about that.
Chris, Brian, and Gary, they're awesome. They basically help me just with small stuff. They're so busy over there that I don't really want to like bother them a lot. But if there's something pressing, I'll just bring it over to them. And they just do me a solid, I guess. I've tried to pay them back. I told them I'd like clean their shop or something if they wanted. But they're just so nice, So we kind of have just like this mutual thing.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know both Chris and Brian both have a ton of other personal projects also.
Yeah, they have an insane amount of personal projects. And on top, there's like, people are just bringing in cars and getting them like serviced. I have no idea how they like balance their
like work-life balance.
Their work-life balance, but they get it done, I think they're just that experienced.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about your car. I saw 1985. It's a GTS R5.
Yeah.
What else do you know about this car?
It started life as I think it was probably a base model SR5. It doesn't have power mirrors or sunroof or the other stuff that I'm forgetting right now. But I'm gonna guess and say before Chris's ownership, the last guy either like just dailied it as a street car or drifted or like took it to like Sonoma or Thunderhill or something, because it's got a lot of just like basic suspension upgrades. Like it's on Tukiko Blues. I know at one point it had full JDM bumpers. It has the digital dash. So I think it was a pretty nice car, but it does have a lot of Bondo in it. And then I think Chris bought it. I'm not really sure how long Chris had it for, but it was in pretty decent condition, and he just passed it to me. Yeah. So I'd love to find more about the history of the car, but I don't know that much right now, honestly.
Did they tell you the story of how they sold all their Corollas back in Hawaii to buy Hondas? Did they tell you this story?
No, I didn't hear this story.
So way back in the day, when they still, because they're both from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Way back in the day, they said in the street races they kept getting beat by Hondas, so they sold all their Toyota stuff to go get Hondas to compete.
So yeah. Oh my! He did mention he traded something for an Integra.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And then now since I've known them, they're like, yeah, we should have never done that. We should have like kept all those cars.
Probably went up in price a hell of a lot, huh? Yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't know. I knew they were. I had the feeling they were from Hawaii because I had a sticker on my old dash, and it said e808.com, and I went to the site and I thought it was gonna be car parts, but it's like it's linked me to some resort. I don't know what that was about, but I had a feeling, and they were talking about how some guy from Hawaii, I think they shipped a Datsun 510 over to him or something. But I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, they a lot of their cool cars get bought up in Hawaii, and I guess the thing is like their only option is to import from the mainland.
Yeah. I've heard Hawaii car culture is like nice. Like they treat cars pretty well over there, and I've seen pictures and stuff, and some of the builds are just crazy,
Yeah. So what have you been doing with this car so far in your ownership?
Honestly, just really dailying it. I drove it to school for about a year straight. That was when I still had a radio and stuff.
You don't have to lie. Do you like street race people and like toge and stuff?
Oh my God. 100%. Yeah. That stuff's so cool. I'm a bit afraid of like pushing it though for a few reasons, but I've already been to traffic court twice.
Oh no. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, which is why I love the idea of it, but like when it comes down to it, I'm like, oh man, I don't know.
Oh,
The first time I went, I'll get into this real quick. The first time I went, this was stupid. I was driving my Prius on my provisional license because honestly, everybody I know drives on their provisional license, and I had a tail light out, like the fuse was just kind of popped out, and a cop pulled me over, and I had like 12, I think, and my curfew was like 11. And he's basically like, oh, you had a tail light out. Here's a fix-it ticket. He checked my license. He's like, oh, you're not even supposed to be driving right now. So that kind of passed. I thought he dropped the ticket. So I was kind of chilling for a while. And then I met with this guy. I think he lives in Washington now. He had a CRX and we kind of became friends. And then he was like, yo, do you want to go drift in this gravel lot up on Skyline? And I was like, oh, okay. Like, that sounds fun. He's like, don't worry. Like, the park rangers don't care. And we get there. And I'm like having a blast doing donuts, and about 15 minutes in, 2 park rangers just block off the exits.
oh man.
And then I got like a court summon like 2 days later, went there, and the judge had me write a 10-page essay.
Holy crap.
In like, I think I had to do it in 10 days. And I worked my butt off, got it dropped. And like he didn't revoke my license or anything, so I was chilling. But then the cop finally filed the paperwork for me driving on my provisional license 10 months after it happened.
Oh man.
So I had to go back and see the same judge, and he said, like, you know, he revoked my license for 30 days, but and basically said, I don't want to ever see you back here again. And like, as much as I want to, you know, speed or like go do toge stuff, it's like, if I have to see that judge again, I think I'm gonna like just pass out like on the spot.
So what are your future plans for this car?
It honestly depends on how my like life situation goes. If I decide to bring it to Utah, I'd love to just keep it as a daily, honestly. Maybe start or get it in a nice place where it's like dailyable, but I can also bring it to a track event and burn some rubber. But right now I just want to keep it alive, keep it safe, keep it serviced, which is proving to be a bit of a challenge. But hopefully I can change that if I get a job again.
I guess what I'm trying to ask is like, just casually from observing, it seemed you and Max, I would say your, I guess, ethos towards Corolla is pretty similar, where it's like, I'd like a nice, clean OEM spec car, but with like resto mods, so I can still do some performance driving with it. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I definitely say that. I don't want to do like anything too extreme. I really just want to sort of appreciate the car for what it is currently. Because, you know, like I could go and like, I don't want to, like, obviously, I was going to say 2JZ swap it, but like, I feel like that's what like a lot of people who are new to the community want to do, especially with JDM cars. They want to like, they're like, oh, I'm going to get a Corolla and I'm going to get like, drop it real low. And I'm going to 2JZ swap it. It's going to be so cool, which is like great if you're willing to put in the effort. But like, realistically, I just appreciate it for like, you know, the engine it has and stuff and like how it came pretty much.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you because that's definitely the opposite camp where,
right. Yeah.
Because I can think of at least 2 other newer owners. And that's the very first thing. Like, yeah, I'm going to go beam swap it. I'm going to go drift and put this like big body kit.
Yeah. I used to be that way, but it's like, you kind of hit with reality, and it's like, this would take a lot of work. And it's like, what do I like? Do I really need to, like, it'd be cool. And like, mad respect to anybody who does beam swap or 2JZ swap. Like, that takes an incredible amount of work and skill and all that. Just from where I am, I think I'm, you know, completely satisfied with just having a little 4AGE with minor enhancements and all that.
What's the next like plan or like phase mod for your car? Any of those 3?
Let's see. I got a bunch actually. I'd love to sort of go cosmetically. I'd like to go with sort of like a JDM, like sort of 90s style, but as cheap as possible. So I'm thinking about getting one of those like crappy Duraflex body kits that like, it's like the J Blood replica or whatever. I'd really like to get one of those And then I'm thinking about doing a color that's sort of like period correct, I guess, to like like, you know, the 90s craze. So I was thinking like doing it like a yellow because it's like or like a sort of like a bright, like almost like the Type R Civic yellow,
Yeah.
but maybe a little more orangish just because
I guess Type R Integra, right?
oh, did the Civics not come in that yellow? The EK?
Oh, I'm wrong. Yes, the EK Type R came in
Yeah.
that yellow. Yes.
Yeah, I really like that yellow, and I think I'd love to do something that's like flashy but not like super like modern, I guess. Just very simple to like that style.
You mentioned pop culture being part of the influence in Corolla. Was that for you also?
100%. Like I could dance around and say there's something different. Like I just as a kid I just watched Initial D and I was just like, this is the coolest thing in the world.
I guess what I'm trying to ask is like, where does this like fascination with 90s style come from?
That's a good question. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Actually, I've always sort of been into like retro styled stuff. Like before I was into cars, I did a decent bit of art that was all 80s style, you know, like, and it's totally making a resurgence. Like people are buying like Polaroid cameras. And I think that's a pretty widespread thing. I think people like retro stuff. And
what kind of art did you used to do?
I used to do a lot of like completely unrelated to cars. I used to do a lot of like character design, but I never really took it super seriously. Like I had like notebooks and stuff.
Like
and,
you draw with your hand or you draw digital?
I did a little of both actually.
Okay.
I liked hand drawing way more though.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should have kept with it, but I fell off.
Okay.
Sort of a year ago or two, I think.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It's like a lot of hobbies or passions that I used to have before and they kind of fell off. I try to re-explore them and like drawings, especially hand drawings, like one of those things where like I would really hate to see you lose that if you really enjoyed it in the past.
Yeah, I know. It's been it's been a weird thought process because when quarantine started, I got into it for like I was like really into it for a week, but then I kind of lost the desire again.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could pick it back up soon. I might in college. I might do some art stuff, but I don't know. I feel weird about it right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of these parallels I think with Corollas, and I don't know the right way to say it, but like doing things like the old-fashioned way. Like I'll give you an example.
Yeah,
you got a stack of my stickers right next to you. So
yeah, for sure.
So that Autohaus logo, I actually drew that by hand.
Oh,
and when I was going to shop around for people to do that digital, a lot of I think the number one thing people were like, dude, you drew this by hand? Like no one draws by hand anymore. Like it was wild for people.
Yeah.
And that's when I learned, like, I guess digital drawing or like digital painting, that's what's popular right now. And very few people are actually drawing with a pen and a piece of paper. So
yeah. Oh, there's a huge market for digital stuff, I think, because it's just like the next, it's the next, it's the easiest way to get it out to people. And as opposed to like a hand drawing, you have to like, it can't be like copied. It's way more sentimental than digital art, I feel like,
Yeah. And I think similar with Corolla, it's like, it's very old fashioned. There's no like easy way to do Corolla, right?
There's no, it's something you really got to learn. And I think people, it's weird going off what you said about them being super old fashioned. I think like there's even like this parallel between, I think like a lot of like 240SX owners or RX7 owners where there's sort of this, it's all about like new aftermarket parts and like the best swap or like the newest swap. With Corollas, people are very like, it's very rooted in tradition, I guess, as opposed to other cars, like people are way more fixated on 90s stuff with Corollas than they are with like 240s or any other popular car right now.
You might be a little bit, we both might be a little bit spoiled being in NorCal, because there's still like a lot of that like old guard traditional style.
100%.
Yeah.
It's rough, man. Like I check Craigslist a lot for like parts and stuff. And I mean, if you go to like any Midwestern state, type in A86, there's nothing.
Oh yeah.
But if you type in like LA or San Francisco, there's like hundreds of results and they're just parts and like banners and all sorts of good stuff that you just, I guess, can't get anywhere else really.
Yeah, it's funny. I long time ago there was someone else's friend came by to the shop to visit, and he was like, "Dude, I've never ever seen a cool or like a clean Corolla build, and here's three of them here."
Yeah.
So I mean, we're definitely spoiled where we live.
100%.
Yeah, not even the caliber of cars, but like the community and like the availability of like parts and resources up here.
Yeah. I mean, like including this shop, there's like three other, maybe two or three other like A86 focused places that are like all within like 30 minutes of me.
Yeah.
It's nuts, really.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it'd be like the same in LA. Maybe it is, but I think the NorCal community is just so defined.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super cool coming here and just seeing like, I mean, you got like the posters and stuff up here, and it's just like, it's cool, man.
You were saying during our intermission you had a Rx7 story?
Yeah. Actually, I've been itching to tell this one.
Okay.
So so my friend, he's like my number one car homie. His name is also Jackson.
Okay, real quick.
Oh yeah.
Try to turn the mic towards you. Yeah,
like
perfect. That? Yeah, try to talk to the middle of it.
Hello.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
Okay. Man. Yeah. So I have this homie. His name is Jackson. We've known each other since like 3rd grade. He's big into rotaries. He just had a 1970 Buick Skylark. We bought it in 2018. It was we probably should have paid less for it, but it was this 70 Buick Skylark. He was super into muscle cars at the time, and it kind of ran, but it kind of didn't, and it basically turned into this 2-year project. Then he sold it, and he was like, all right, next I want a rotary. And he was really fixated on a Rx7 FB. And we found one in Tracy, California. And it was a gray one. And it was if you know anything about Rx7s, it had the 12A engine, so the carbureted one. And it didn't have the LSD. But still, like, he really wanted it. We got there, and someone bought it before us.
Oh, shoot.
We drove like an hour and 30 minutes. It was, like, just horrible, basically. So then like a week later, he messages me. I'm like chilling in my car, and he's like, dude, there's a RX7 FB GSL SE, which is the one with the 13V in the limited slip differential. He's like, but it's in Arizona. Do you want to go? And I was like, man, this seems like crazy. Like, I don't think we could organize a trip. Come Friday, I'm on the plane.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So we flew down to Phoenix. The owner picked us up. He was really nice, super transparent about everything. And we forked over the cash, and we had this perfect RX7 FB. So we got in it, and at that time in Phoenix, there was a heat wave. It was 115 degrees. And since it's an 80s Japanese car, the AC compressor just did not work. So we just like coated ourselves in sunscreen. It had this giant oil cooler and super black tint, like just so the heat didn't get in. And we just like pretty much nonstop drove it all the way to California. I don't know. It was like maybe the most like devoted car experience I've ever been in so far. And it was just fun.
That doesn't sound very fun.
It was like, yeah, it was torture, but at the same time, it was like really cool to go somewhere else and like for like car related stuff. I guess it was sort of like my first taste of that. Yeah, I don't know. Looking back on it though, it was super fun, and now he's got a really cool RX7. Yeah, will not miss the heat though.
Do you have any? Have you had any cool Corolla adventures yet?
Nowhere like super far away from me, I guess. But I was a week away from taking it to prom. I really wanted to drive it to my junior year prom, but that didn't work out. I forget what happened. I think the brake booster gave out or something. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh, I don't think I have. Have you had any cool ones? Like give me some inspiration.
Have I had any cool Corolla adventures?
Yeah,
Oh
give me
man,
something.
I'm trying to think of a positive one. Every
Yeah,
every
yeah.
time I like have a quote unquote cool Corolla adventure, it's always like ends in like the tow truck or something.
Give me a bad one. I don't care. Just give me
Okay,
like something.
I guess something that comes up nowadays is getting hassled by AAA for having a modified vehicle when I've needed a tow.
Wait, do they do that?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. So
Why? Because it's lowered or something?
yeah, that's exactly what it is. So I think the last time my alternator died and I had to get it towed, like I got really hassled and by the driver, the AAA towing company,
Right.
because they contract out companies, right? And they're saying like, yeah, this car's modified. AAA is not going to cover this, and I had to basically went through this ordeal where I had to like fight with I don't know their corporate office about how
Oh my
like there's some
gosh.
modern cars that are lower than what I have.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Totally. I don't think yours is even. It's not like super. It's not like slammed or anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say mine's at a like reasonable
A
height, right?
modest height.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I know all my Corolla adventures are sad like that, and then I've had a few like close calls and hard crashes. I don't think there's been like, let's see, all my memorable adventures are not positive, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm so like just like such a homebody, I guess. Like I just drive it around like my hometown. Take it to the 8-6 meet. There was a funny, like I think 2 meets ago, we like merged with the Subaru meet, right? I don't know if you were there for that, but like the like 10 minutes away from the 8-6 meet, or no, sorry, 3 minutes away. It's right over that bridge.
Oh, you guys got like kicked out 3 times, right? From 3 different places?
We got kicked out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I saw you at the end of the night at the regular meeting spot. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy. So I'm pretty used to like cops coming in to like car meets, but like for some reason, this one was like they came in like full force. Like they were blocking off exits and like everybody scattered. Miatas are sending it and go like everybody's burning out and stuff. And I'm just trying to find. And finally, I'm like sitting in this lot, and I text Chris because he was there, and I was um, like, do you know where we're meeting? Are we going back to 85 Degree Bakery? I just get one text that says, I don't know. I'm going home.
Oh no.
It's like, well, now what do I do? But there was some guy. He pulled it like across the parking lot, and he was in like a silver GTS hatch, and oh, it had turbo fans too, like on the wheels.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who it is, but I feel like someone will recognize him.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever he is.
Backyard 86 on Instagram.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bless him. He told me like we were going back to 85 and drove there, but it was so weird that night having like just being pushed out by cops and like not knowing where to go. Definitely not my first time though. But then the funny on the way back from the meet, I got McDonald's. I was with three of my friends, and I guess a few Corvettes from the meet or like the Subaru meet. I don't know why they were there, but they were like racing across the highway, and I think one of them tried to race me.
Oh,
like at the light, I'm holding a McDouble in one hand. I'm clutching in. I'm telling my friend when I'm clutching in, and he's doing my gears for me.
Oh my god!
And I think this Corvette thought he was gonna like get an experience out of that, and I was just being a total goober in my car. But it's just little stuff like that. I don't have any like as far as my Corolla stories go. It's nothing. It hasn't been anything super extravagant yet. But hopefully soon. I don't know. I'd love to take it to a track day or something.
Yeah. I know you said earlier you probably have a million questions for me, so now's the time. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, let me think. I don't know. How did you find Corollas? I never asked you that.
How did I find Corollas? You got to listen to the origin story episodes of the podcast, man.
Okay.
But the short answer is the same. As embarrassing as it is, it's Initial D.
It's Initial D, man.
Yeah. So my start was through the Initial D manga. So I mean that's what kickstarted it.
Really? You had the manga before you had the show?
Yeah. So my public library when I was growing up had the manga translated to English.
Oh no!
So
wow.
Yeah, just by fate. I don't know why the hell that public library carried manga.
That's
right?
kind of cool. I didn't even know there was a English translation of Initial D.
Yeah.
Huh. And you just went off that, or?
Yeah, I know a lot of people like their start was either video games like Gran Turismo or
Yeah.
through watching like Japanese option videos. But
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
as embarrassing as it is, yeah, my start was from the Initial D manga.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in my youth, like internet wasn't, there was like the early days of internet, so there was no like streaming or there was no YouTube.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, so I watched Initial D on like DVDs.
Yeah. I think that's why it's more popular than ever. Because right now, anime is super huge. Like, that's no question. And
Mhm.
it's like a lot of people, I think, just watch Initial D and the car thing just clicks with them.
Mhm.
So I think that's why I think it's like at an all-time high in terms of popularity right now.
It's interesting that it's made a resurgence.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Like Initial D or
Initial D in specifically Initial D, how has it made a resurgence? Because it always surprises me how like guys your age will know about it. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Initial D was like way
you know what it
early
is?
90s. Go ahead.
It's memes. I can tell you right now. Because running in the 90s, like go on YouTube, I think it has like 100 million views. I think this is kind of how it was for me. Eurobeat segues a lot of people into watching Initial D, or like because they just hear it and like someone uses it in like an audio or something, or someone hears a remix of it and they listen to Running in the 90s, and then they're like, oh, this is from an anime? I like anime. It's from a car anime. They watch the car anime, and then they find out they like cars. I think it's like a very specific snowball effect.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's my theory though. I could be totally wrong, but that's sort of from like personal experiences and how other people in high school especially perceive like cars and stuff.
My guess was that they revamped the series. So there's like
Yeah.
new like I don't know what stage they're on, like stage 8, 9, 6 or whatever, 8, 9, 10. I don't know what stage they're on now, but
Yeah.
I thought it was because they revamped the series. But that I mean your take is like that's totally plausible too. So
Yeah, I think I think Initial D has a great amount of content for people to explore. I mean, you got the manga, the like the full anime, and then they made like those OVA movies.
that's right.
Actually, they were before quarantine. Someone was like publicly showing those at like a at an event. So I guess those are sort of popular. And then there's the arcade games. I actually know a place where you can still play like Initial D, the arcade game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I like the Max Tune one better. But I mean, there's just so much there, and I think it's a great gateway for people who just watch a lot of anime and want to pick up a new hobby. That's my theory. That's like my for like high school and stuff. That's how people get into cars a lot of the time. I'm trying to think like something you haven't been asked before. What would you say? Okay, here's a good one. Here's one that I think is relevant to me. What would you say is like a good entry level job for someone who doesn't know a lot about cars and wants to learn a lot more? Because a lot of the time, like I'm thinking about maybe picking up an automotive job, but I feel like there's this fear that cars are sort of something that you can't really mess up in terms of like mechanical stuff, like or like an oil change, because that could cost someone like a lot of money. So what do you think is like a low stakes, like what's a good entry level car job
that you actually want to like touch a car and work on it?
Yeah,
Okay.
in
like
theory.
you're not washing cars.
I mean that counts. That certainly counts. But yeah, something more hands-on, I guess.
It's that's a tough call.
That's something I've been contemplating for a while too.
Yeah, a lot of people who ask me like where's a good resource to learn about cars, I would honestly say your local community college. Take a few automotive classes, and I would say that's probably the best way, because
Okay.
from day one they'll let you touch stuff, and then
that's
also
cool.
it's school stuff, so you can like they expect it to get broken.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, job is tough, but I would say like if you're entry level and you want to just get your start into learning how to work on cars, I would say your local community college, take the few like basic classes, and then see if you actually like it or not.
Yeah.
Because then because otherwise you could be stuck in a job, right?
Yeah.
And be like, wow, I hate working on cars.
Yeah. That's sort of been my fear. I'm definitely gonna look into that now because I've been sort of meaning to take some community college classes, but I feel like there would be this weird thing if I just like started working like a tire changers or something where it becomes less of a hobby and more of something you like don't enjoy, I guess. And that's been like a big anxiety for me, but I don't know.
Yeah, it comes with time, but I definitely think
Yeah.
that's important. Like trying different things so you can better know yourself.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've been working in the automotive field for more than a decade now, and I've seen both sides, right? Where it's like someone like me with it is just obsessed with it. Like I'll work at it at my day job, and then I'll go home and do it, and then in my spare time watch YouTube about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where other people, other technicians, dealer technicians I've worked with, where it's like they come to work to do it, and then they just want no part of it ever again.
Yeah. That's what I'm like afraid of it becoming, because where I am right now, I really like all that stuff. But it's like if I go out and I just do that, like I wonder if it'll be too much or something.
Yeah.
But you're right about community college classes. I think I should probably definitely look into that.
Yeah, I think it's good because it's low cost, low barrier to entry, and they expect you to they expect you to break stuff because you guys are students and you're just learning.
Yeah.
And then you guys get access to like all the tools, all the equipment. I did welding for 2 semesters.
Oh.
And that was another thing too. Like people would sign up for the welding class not to learn. They would keep coming back because they had all the equipment to use.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like people would pay for the class and then just work on their own projects.
Oh, that's so funny.
Because like all the welders,
they let them do that?
Yeah. I mean, you paid for the class, so.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll definitely look into that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It's been so long since I've seen your car. Is your car all like, you can daily it and track it, right? Because I've seen videos of you on your channel of you doing like Laguna Seca and stuff.
Yeah. This car was my daily driver for a long time. Yeah, my serious daily driver. It used to be a fully loaded power steering AC car. So
it was a true GTS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I used to go to school in Sacramento, so I drive it from the Bay Area to Sacramento regularly. Yeah, this was my real deal daily driver at one point. And yeah, it's still my street car. I don't ever have plans of making it a full track car because
no.
Yeah.
You're pretty much at that point though, right? Like what would you have to do? What would the boundary between like track car and street car be for a Corolla like that? Like yours?
I think once you take the interior out,
yeah,
it's like the point of no return.
Yeah.
Because you see I have that half cage in it, but I think once you start taking interior parts out, that's like the point of no return. I'm actually trying to put air conditioning back in the car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that's possible, and I've heard it's pretty expensive. Is that correct?
Yeah. So if you're like me and missing majority of the air conditioning stuff.
Yeah.
Because I mean, to my own fault as a dumbass, I took all of it out myself.
Yeah.
Then it's very difficult and very expensive to get all the OEM stuff back.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar how much you watch the YouTube channel, but I've actually developed a vintage air drop-in kit to go in these cars.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. You like a full.
Yeah, under the dash, all the way to the engine bay, all new stuff.
Wow.
Yes.
And is that like with the compressor?
Yep. Yeah, compressor, all those mystery boxes under the dash, all the lines.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So too bad Steven doesn't have his car today, but yeah, the very first kit is in Steven's car running right now.
That's going to be, I feel like there's going to be a huge market for that. Because I heard someone say once, I think this is at the meet, the most expensive Corolla you can get is a Corolla with working AC.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Because like, I don't know. Mine just blows air basically.
Oh, well, you're missing all the stuff. Like,
yeah, there's one part I have. I think someone told me about it like recently, and I completely forgot. It was like 2 weeks ago. But I redid all the AC tubing when I took out the interior.
Oh,
and,
okay.
yeah, I have to thank I don't know his Instagram or if he even has one, but Max in Santa Clara.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, he basically helped me do the entire dash.
Is this Illegal Garage Max? That one? I think there's only one Max, so it's
I
probably
think-
him. Yeah.
Yeah. He's hella nice though, and he helped me get to the car where it was like drivable, and like I don't know, it was stressful. Like stripping. Oh, I guess I forgot to mention this for anybody listening, but I 2 weeks ago did a whole. I swapped all my black interior for maroon interior.
And why'd you do that? I was about to ask you that outside.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I think the maroon interior looks really cool. And there was a guy who really wanted it, and I naively was like, "Yeah, what the hell? Like, this won't take too long." I don't know why the hell I told myself that, but I guess it just at the time seemed like a very straightforward procedure. But I don't know. Now that it's all in, I definitely like it more than the black. I think there's just a few things that are like, I feel like I feel bad because I feel like I created more problems for myself than I had before. You know. It's all small stuff now. In that regard, the car's still got a bazillion things wrong with it. Going back to your point about the whole track car thing, I feel like I've seen a lot of people with stripped interiors who daily their stuff, and I feel like the thing for it, like I think the two things that really separate it for me are how loud it is, and like the convenience of it. Like a lot of people, because I know a lot of people with stripped interior, or who at least like have the back seats or have both front seats or whatever, still have the dash. They daily it and they just say it's like loud. But I think when you take like the back seats out or like put a cage in and then get like illegal headers or something, that's when I feel like you've sort of made it a track car officially.
Yeah. I guess the other part of that is if you do some mod to the engine that you can't smog it anymore, or you do like some
Yeah.
Japanese engine swap that there's no way.
Do they
Yeah.
do they give you a hard time with Japanese engines?
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's news to me because everybody sells them because they have the, what is it? They get them up to like 60,000 miles.
And then yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they just give them to us.
Yeah, so legally in California, you're not supposed to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of
But
funny.
but yeah, then like a lot of those cars aren't road registered. They like
Yeah.
for example, like a 2J swap to S13, that's somebody's like dedicated track car. That's just one example.
Yeah, that's not ever going to get. I don't think that's ever going to pass.
Yeah, you won't legally get that as a road
Yeah.
car.
That's so funny. I didn't know the JDM engines were like not legal.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
so funny.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, we certainly have an abundance of them. And they just have like warehouses of them.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. That's so funny. Huh. That's the thing. You learn something new every day. Huh? I know someone told me recently that you got your car done at Mako.
Yeah.
And it's been a while, but I've heard people like complain about Mako. How do you feel about like that paint job?
So I am absolutely happy with the job.
Yeah.
The price, the job.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Like, it looks perfect.
Yeah. I think the key is it's depending which Mako you go to,
Really.
because they're franchised, so it's not like every single Mako is the same.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the key. It's which one you go to.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it's to the point where I've seen like a few Corollas with Mako paint jobs. Like Chris has a I'm forgetting what it's called. Like what's a 1981 Corolla? What's the like chassis code for that?
Oh, TE.
Yeah, he has a TE. And it has like a silver Mako sparkle job, and it looks beautiful.
TE. Is it his wagon or which one is it?
It's I think he got it recently. It's a sedan. It's stick and it's on Mark IIs.
Okay. I think I've seen it on the Instagram. I haven't seen those guys in a while, but I think it's
Yeah.
on their Instagram.
Yeah, it's pretty. Like when I saw it, it's like in their back, in the back of like their outside area. But it looks really good. So I don't know. I'm planning on rattle canning my car, but maybe we'll see. I'm definitely considering Mako as an option if I get some money coming in. It's good to know that they do it like that. How much prep did you do for it?
Almost none.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you mask anything yourself?
No.
Or they did it. They did all of it.
Yeah. That's
Huh.
I guess that's another thing I've heard is like as long as you like mask and prep it yourself, the Mako job should be good. But I brought my car to them in basically pieces. It's like I took all the window trim off. Fenders I brought to them separately.
Oh,
Hood
okay.
vent I brought to them separately. So like I made it so that there's very little chance for like
Yeah.
overspray or any of that.
Yeah. Huh.
But otherwise, like sanding, masking, I did none of that. Like,
Wow.
I have like zero patience for body work.
Yeah.
So that's the exact reason why like someone's gonna paint this. I don't want to do this.
Yeah. I kind of like doing body work more than engine stuff. I should do more engine stuff, but I don't know. It's fun because I just sit out there like with my friend Jackson and we would just like spray paint my fender or like sand some rust down or something.
Yeah. If you enjoy doing that, I mean,
Yeah.
take a class.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking now.
Yeah. Take a class or watch a bunch of YouTube videos. Like if you're interested in it, I would say like dive in a little bit deeper, see how much how much you want to learn, right?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I could maybe work at a body place. That'd be fun. It's just like I always have this fear that if I were to like just work at a tire changer's place, I would just like completely fuck something up. But I don't know. Not a rational fear, I assume. Did I ever actually run through my car? I don't think I told everybody what I have. I think I just said I have a 1985.
Oh, go ahead. If you want to like run through the car, like what specs, what are on it.
Yeah, I'll give a quick little thing for anybody who is like confused because I know I like to visualize it. I have a 1985 SR5 coupe. It was a Zenki, but someone along the lines, I also forgot to mention this, they cut out the back metal to make it a kooky car. So I still have the metal bits if I ever want to convert it back to Zenki, but it's a full GTS conversion with the LSD. It's even got the GTS seat, and it also has the Japanese digital dash that's still in kilometers per hour. Because I know a few people someone was telling me that people are doing it in miles per hour now.
There's a guy who knows how to do it.
Yeah,
I know I've seen it somewhere floating on the internet.
Yeah, I've heard there's like one guy. I think Max told me this too. There's like one guy who knows how to do it, and he won't teach anybody else how to do it.
Yeah.
I don't really see why. It took me like literally once I started driving it, it took me like 2 days to get used to the kilometers per hour.
Oh, cool.
I think it's like because you sort of you're not looking at your speedo all the time, but like you kind of understand like once you get it up to 100 kilometers, that's 60. Go a little faster, you're at 65 or around that area. So I kind of just get a feel of where I'm at by increments of whatever kilometers it is, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah, it's weird. And if a cop ever pulls me over, says, "Do you have any idea how fast you're going?" I'll be like, honestly, no, like not really. But yeah, that's my little car breakdown. Maybe I should have done that at the beginning. I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know how you do it.
Let's see. Besides including in future plans, do you have like any parts or like specific mods that would be like next for your car, or like in the future you would like to do?
I think my end goal, I'm pretty happy where it is in terms of like parts and stuff. I think my end goal would just be ITBs. I don't really have a good understanding of how they work, but I know they sound really good.
So why ICVs besides sounding good?
I think it's going to sound so like base level, but I think they look cool. They sound really good. The only thing I'm concerned about is I know like if you go into higher altitude, it kind of messes with your air fuel ratio. Someone was telling me this. I don't know how true it is, but that's my only concern. And if I were to take it to Utah, where like the elevation shifts quite a lot, I think that might be a problem. But I think they're kind of like the classic 4AGE add-on. So that's what I like to do with it. Other than that, I'm completely happy with my car. I like the LSD. I like the 4AGE. I like my transmission. I like the T50. Although mine's a little weird.
What makes it weird? What's wrong with your trans?
Since the day I bought it, my second synchro is just like kind of bad. Like if it's pretty high in the revs, then it'll like just make a horrible noise. It'll go in and everything really easy, but it just makes a bad grinding noise.
That's not good.
It's not good at all. I've been meaning to fix it, but it's hard. I don't really actually know many swaps that people like. Do people do transmission swaps on 4AGEs?
Yeah.
What else? I know there's one called the W58.
Yeah.
Could you educate me a little more on that?
Yeah. So this is really interesting because this is pretty common that people aren't aware of the various transmission swaps that are available if you want to keep your 4A.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, people think like T50 is my only option, which is totally not the case. So W series, so like W58, that came in like a variety of things.
Are
So
they like, is it like 80s Toyotas or is it like newer stuff?
early 80s all the way up to late 90s. So they came in everything.
Really?
Name something it came in it. Toyota truck, Mark IV Supra, SC300.
Mark IV Supra? Really?
Yeah, Mark IV Supra had a W58. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why W is one of my favorite swaps,
Right.
because it came in everything and you can still get parts for it.
Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah. And then arguably the strongest transmission swap available for a 4A. So like
Is it like a 6-speed or is it a 5-speed?
5-speed.
5-speed. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, more like if you're all the time, like if you're a drift guy,
Yeah.
I tell all those guys like, hey, don't bother with T50, just skip straight to a W58. Your life for the till the end of time will be much happier.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it connect pretty easily to a 4AG? How do transmission swaps usually work? That's something that's like completely foreign to me.
Yeah, so typically you need some sort of adapter because that face of the transmission is not supposed to go on that engine. So you need some sort of adapter, right? Whether that means like a plate that bolts to the back of the engine, or like a whole different bell housing, which is like that thing that bolts to the front of a transmission. So there's like some sort of adapter that mates the two together.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other things like you need a different clutch, different drive shaft, because transmission's different length now.
Oh, yeah. Is there a kit for those that's like pretty universal, or is there like one for specifically for the 8.6?
Yeah, there are a lot of different transmission adapter kits, some more comprehensive than others. And I think that's part of the reason why it's not so popular, because there's not really one company that makes like a comprehensive. Like if you want a W series, here's everything you need.
Yeah.
Like the current majority of the kits on the market, it'll give you everything to bolt it up in the car and then to the engine. But then you still kind of have to figure out all the other stuff yourself.
Right. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that at all, because I've heard the name W58 thrown around like a bunch, but I like wasn't sure what it was in.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So even more crazy, both my car and then Grant's car are
you
both
have the BRZ transmission, right?
Nope.
Oh wait, what is it then?
Altezza, the Beams one.
Oh.
So even more crazy, Grant's car has the FRS transmission.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So two different, both our cars are two different 6-speed cars, but
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Huh. How do you put an FRS transmission?
There's an adapter.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I could have sworn your car had it, but is it like that's a new thing, right?
It's been around for quite some time. It's hard to get. I want to say it's the only one out of Japan right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, because only a weirdo like me wants to buy something like that.
Hey man, if one came my way, I would not be opposed.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
It's also horrendously expensive. I'll let you Google how much that kit costs. But yeah, that's probably why very few people are buying it, because it's also horrendously expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer. Because my friend, he's had an FRS for a year, 2 years now, and it shifts. It's a fun thing to shift. So putting that in an 8.6 would be, wow, that'd be really cool.
Oh yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And, Grant loves the new transmission in that car.
That's awesome. How's the Altezza transmission?
How can I put it? There's plus and minus to everything. So.
Yeah.
It shifts well like a modern car. The ratios are good, so it matches the 4A really well.
That's good.
The problem is there's a lot to figure out yourself.
Really?
Yeah. There's a lot
like for fabrication or...
Yeah, like what shifter do I use? Do I have to fabricate the trans tunnel? What drive shaft am I supposed to use for it? What do I do with the speedometer? There's a lot of those questions where like, if you were just your average consumer, I totally get it. It's like really intimidating for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's super cool though. Do you know many other people with is that like a common thing or?
No. You can look way back in Club 4AG. I made a write up on it like how many years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to check out that forum more.
Yeah.
Club 4AG is awesome. I tried to make an account and it like, I don't know, it like banned me or something. It was weird.
Oh yeah, the forums are like a ghost town right now, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, so it's it's almost like impossible to like register as a new owner, register a new username. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. Is it like a curated, like do they have someone like checking if you're an owner or not?
Or to sign up new owners. I think it's just like because there's so little activity, those guys that run the forum like just don't check anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer, man.
Yeah.
I gotta use them more as a resource though. See all sorts of cool stuff on there.
Yeah. So that brings up another question is like, because forums aren't popular anymore.
Yeah.
Like in my day, forums were the go-to resource if you wanted to learn or, come together as a community and talk about Corollas.
Yeah.
What are you using nowadays?
YouTube, on just YouTube, pretty much. If there's a video usually there's a video related to 8.6s for anything that you could think of. And sometimes if there isn't stuff, it's kind of just like universal to like Toyota or just cars in general. Like I had to change my clutch slave cylinder, and I sort of got an idea of how to do it from a video of some guy. I think it was an FJ. I think it was like a 70s FJ. And it's kind of just the same deal. It's shaped differently, but all the parts are still there. It took me a little while to do, admittedly, but you can just sort of, if there isn't an 8.6 video for it, then there's a video to give you an idea of how to do it, I think. But yeah, you're right. Forums are like, I didn't even think about that. Forums are just not as used anymore, are they?
Yeah. So then just to make sure, so YouTube is like your main information resource right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
For repairs and that type of stuff, YouTube.
Do you use Facebook at all?
No, actually. I've heard there's a pretty big 8.6 presence on Facebook, but I don't know how to use Facebook.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How did you find out about the Norcal Meets without Facebook?
Actually, this is funny. There's this guy. I could probably shout him out. I have his Instagram.
You have an Instagram, but you don't have a Facebook. That's also like another common thing.
Yeah. Oh,
interesting.
Yeah. His name on Instagram is Mr. Ciarlo, Tony Gay. And he basically, I think I met him at some car meet. I think he does a lot of car photography. He basically said, like, do you know about the meet? This is before I had an 8.6 too. And he was like, do you know about the meet? I was like, no. He's like, every Friday of the month in Milpitas at like 9. And I was like, I'll be there. And so it was really just word of mouth. Like I didn't know there was a Facebook group for it or anything. And I just started going to him. And then eventually I got my 8.6 and I got noticed, I guess. And it's hard to talk to people about a car when you don't really have a car that you wrench on.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Like just having a Prius was not enough to initiate conversation. But that'd be fun. I think about that. I think about doing stuff to my Prius a lot, actually. Like I remember sitting in school and like, what if I put it on bags? And then I searched it up. Like after like 30 minutes of researching, found someone that was selling bags for an 06 Prius.
Oh my God.
And it was like $6,000. And I was like, no, that would be I don't know. I think it'd be funny to slam my mom's car. That's another funny thing. I won't go into this much. There's like a big community of like people who mod Priuses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what the hell? Some of them, I think a lot of it's in Japan and a weird amount of it's in Russia too. But they make like 1 million body kits for them. People put them on big wheels. I've even seen some like myself.
Yeah. So we mentioned him at the start of the podcast, that gray hatchback, backyard 8.6.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a brand new Prius that's like TRD kit and
no
wheels.
way.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I don't know. If I had a bunch of money if I had like adult money and I still have my mom's Prius, I would like get the paint real nice and then just like make it a good daily or do something funny with it. Because it's a Prius. No one cares what you do with a Prius.
Cool. So we're a little past our 1 hour mark on the podcast. Sure. on the podcast. And yeah, dude, I just wanted to thank you so much again for stopping by the shop, being on the podcast.
My pleasure.
Do you have any like final questions? Any last words?
I think I'm all out of questions. If you want to follow, can I plug my Instagram?
Of course, please.
If you want to follow my very mundane Instagram, it's Young Shrimpus, spelled YUNG.SHRIMPUS. I almost messed that up, but it's just car photos, me taking it around Highway 9 and stuff.
I had a feeling that was you, with the Peanuts character, right?
Yeah, my friend Malia, she drew us all as Peanuts.
Nice, man.
Yeah, and I've had that as my profile picture forever. But yeah, that's go find an 8.6, buy it, do something fun with it. We need more people.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks again, man. And then maybe later on we'll do another one, do like a recap, see where you're at.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's good to like see you in the community. I know Max was commenting like back in the day, you told him like, oh, I'm going to get a Corolla. I like these cars. And then you actually got one and he was like awestruck. He was like, oh shit, he actually got one.
Yeah, I know. I remember Max said, I didn't think he'd actually get one.
Yeah.
But
and here you are, you proved him wrong.
Hey man, he didn't know. I was obsessed. But yeah. That's pretty much the short of it.
Yeah. Well, awesome, man. Thanks again. And yeah, we'll have you on again.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
That's it for this week's episode. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, as reviews really help support us. You can do it straight from your desktop. Don't even need an Apple device. This is Autohaus Z. Thanks for all the support, you guys.